ಇಲ್ಲ ತೆಗಿರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹಿಂದಿನ ತೆಗಿರಿ ಇದನ್ನ ತೆಗಿ ಮುಂದಿನ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಆ ಕಡೆದ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೋದೈತೆ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಹಾಂ Today we will start with a topic called as highway financing or highway economics. So this is one of the important topics to study in like every sector of the construction, and it needs to have the knowledge of this sector also in this case. So in the planning and design of the highways, there is an increasing need of an analysis to indicate the justification of whatever the expenditure has been required and comparative worth of the proposed improvements, particularly when various alternatives are being compared. So when we go for the construction of the highway, we'll take up with the different types of the payment, right? So first of all, when we talk about different types of the payment, we'll be thinking about different materials which are involved in that construction of different types of the payment. So when we go for rigid payment, we'll go for the cement concrete, but when we go for the bituminous payment, we'll go for the aggregates and the bitumen and the fine aggregates and all mineral filler with that. So in case of the sustainable construction and the availability of the material nearby, we'll be choosing different materials which are required for the construction, right? So in those cases, the cost of the materials will be changing area to area, right? So here analyzing of the different components compared with the namely materials, administration, the cost of the labor, cost of the equipment, everything will be taken into consideration, and then the highway economics or the highway financing will be working out. The government or any other agency finances the highway development. So as we studied in the previous unit 1, CRF, Central Road Fund. So in that we have already studied that yes, in the in case of collection of the petrol and sale of the is been allotted as a central road fund. In that 50% of the high speed diesel is been allotted. So like that there are different percentages in through which the highway finance by the government, okay, is within their vicinity, if you want to develop a layout, so you need to do the roads, drainage, right, water supply and all. So in cases the cost of construction of the is to be taken by the developer itself, right? So that it is like it plays like a agency fund. The funds of these are generally recovered from the road users in the form of a direct and the direct tax. In case of road fund, the direct tax has been collected by through the sale of the petrol and high-speed diesel, okay, and indirect then buying a vehicle, right? So all these come into direct tax. We'll discuss. The user benefits are others due to the construction. So road user benefits are At the good quality of the road is example. A good advantage is that you get bored through drive to first of all. Number of the accidents will be then the comfort and the safety felt by the passengers will be more. So these are few benefits. Right? Wear and tear less. Maintenance cost of a vehicle. It's like this. So it can be divided in the form of the quantifiable benefits and non. So an example, quantify. Amount. Can quantify the amount like in the example money or the amount of the grains which are being bought to spend on your maintenance. Maintaining your, you need good clothes, right? Shoes, right? Then you want a good quality of. So whatever these can be the amount of happiness felt people by wearing and enjoying is not right. So happiness, love, affection is not quantifiable, or the comfort, safety, right, is not quantifiable. So like this, we differentiate the benefits taken by the highway in the form of quantifiable or tangible, non-quantifiable or intangible benefits. So we'll go to the quantifiable benefits. So various benefits which can be quantified include benefits to the road user such as reduction in the vehicle operation cost, time cost and the accident cost. Okay. And the other benefits include the enhancement in land value. Okay. When the land, any idea of it? No. So, okay. Any one of you like will be the son of a contractor or a developer maybe here, right? So you'll buy 5 acres of land. Maybe the 5 acre of a land. Okay. So you want to develop a layout into this, right? You want to develop a layout into this. So this area location of 5 acres matters a lot in case of the enhancement of the land value, whether it is near to the city or it is far from the city, right? Whether it is nearby to the market, is the enclosed residential area, like that. It depends. Okay. Think you want to develop a layout, okay, where in case it is a gated community, right? So gated community means you'll be putting fence all through this 5 acres and there is only one exit and entry is being given. This is example of a gated community. It will be divided. Roads, connectivity has been given. Okay. Sideward, that should be also thought of. Welcome. Right. So we'll take this 5 acre of a land as mango meadows. Mango Meadows. Right. So Mango Meadows is located nearby the Foundry Cluster area where it is a gated community. And the cost of one house at Mango Meadows is 1 crore. Right. So when you, so the cost of a land, okay, in the Mango Meadows Yeah, but it is a gated community. It is nearby Belgaum. So nearby Mango Meadows, you can find D Mart, you can find Big Bazaar like that. So there is a so if faculty, if people are working in the nearby industries, colleges and all, for them and for them also, the residential area is very nearby, right? So the cost of this land will be very high. It is there in the demand, right? So the road will due to the reduction of the fuel, oil consumption, reduction in the wear and tear of the tires and other maintenance costs. So when you want to travel from one place to other place, you'll ask if you are unknown or new to the place, you'll ask your neighbor, okay. So which is good road connectivity, right? You'll be casually inquiring and you'll be choosing only the good quality road which connects that city, okay, even though it is 2 kilometers farther than the other road, right? So because there is reduction in the fuel, right, mileage of the vehicle will be high, right, oil consumption will be low, and reduction in the wear and tear in case of the good roads is also less, and other maintenance costs according to the unevenness of the road and all will also be less, right. So these are some of the quantifiable benefits. A road with a sharp curve, steep grade require frequent speed changes. So when there is a frequent speed change, the vehicle should be decelerated and then accelerated. Okay. So when there is deceleration and then acceleration, okay, there is loss of the or maximum amount of the fuel is being taken by the vehicle, okay, to accelerate from a lower speed to the higher speed, right. So in those cases, and the presence of the intersections requires stopping, idling and then accelerating. Vehicle operation on the road stretches with high traffic volume or congestion necessitates the speed changes and stopping and increased travel time, right. So nowadays time means money, money means time, right. So if you are spending lot of amount of the time in traveling, okay, to the workplace and back to the home, right, you are spending so much amount of a time on the road itself, right. So this is because of the congestion, right, congestion, then too many intersections, right. So if this congestion is been avoided, then the speed changes are less, okay, you can reach your home within the stipulated time and less amount of the time is being spent on the road. You can spend larger productive time in the office, right. After office you can spend larger good quality time with the family also, right. And in case of the sharp curves, steep grades and all, in case of hilly regions and all, there are many hairpin bends to reach from one place to other, right. In case of the hairpin bends, the vehicle need to accelerate and decelerate again. So in those cases also there is larger amount of the fuel spent in traveling. Non-quantifiable benefits. Due to the improvements in the highway facilities, there is reduction in the fatigue, okay, and discomfort during travel. Increase in the comfort and conveniences, and improvements in the general amenities. Nowadays, people are traveling from Bangalore to Birmingham on a four-wheeler, right? So this is because of the good quality roads which are available throughout the world. The happiness is completely different when they reach Birmingham Palace from Bangalore Palace, right? So one of the documentary is been there in the Facebook and even YouTube. You can watch it. And social and educational aspects, okay, development of the recreational and the medical services nearby, and improved mobility of the essential services and defense forces, aesthetic views, right. So the road stretch between Belgaum and Dharwad is very beautiful when we consider the road stretch from Belgaum to Bangalore. So this is one of the most photographed road in the country also, right. So during rainy season with a lush green on both the sides, you can take the photos and it is very beautiful to see or travel on the road. So it is like a feast on to travel on the road in case of rainy seasons. And motor vehicle operation cost, and that is one of the non-quantifiable benefits. Right? Motor vehicle operation cost. The vehicle may be classified in a different groups such as passenger car, bus, light commercial vehicles, single unit trucks, combination vehicles, etc. for the purpose of the cost analysis. Right? And the cost depend on time expressed as the cost per year, such as interest on the per capita depreciation cost, registration fee, insurance charges for the vehicles, garage rents, then driver license, salaries, etc. as applicable. So if you have kept a driver, you have to pay his salary, right? Then you have to give him, based on his performance, the driving license will be issued to him, right? So there is amount spent on the driving license, amount spent on the driver charges and all. So if you are renting a garage, then you have to pay the garage rent also, right? So all these come under the motor vehicle operation cost. And cost depending on the distance driven expressed as a cost per vehicle kilometer. A unit kilometer travel by the vehicle and the amount spent, okay, for that travel per unit kilometer is called as cost per vehicle kilometer. So the items may be included are fuel, oil, tires, maintenance and repairs in case of the motor vehicle operation cost. So the cost dependent on the speed include the cost of the fuel, oil, tire and vehicle per kilometer cost of the vehicles and travel time value of the passenger. Travel time value. So these all might be understood, but travel time value is also very important, right? Is being developed as a technological city or IT city. Why there is no development in any of the other cities compared to Belgaum in Karnataka? Do you have any idea of it? Because Bangalore has all the facilities. It has international airport, it has domestic airport, it has good connectivity of the railways, right? People can travel from around the world to Bangalore very easily, right? So it has good facilities. But when we compare to Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum and all, here we don't have any, previously we didn't had any good working of airports, right? So because of this, the area development took place very slowly. Right? Only the southern cities have developed very much, but the north are still in the case of the developing stage. So travel time value. So if a person want to travel from New York to Bangalore, okay, he can travel very easily, right? So it may take around 16 to 17 hours to reach Bangalore. But if his office location is in Hubli, he has to, okay, previously, like around 5 years back or 6 years back, they had to take either train or bus. Okay, so the travel time to train or bus is 10 hours. So 20 hours is spent to travel from New York to Bangalore and 10 hours is spent to travel from Bangalore to Hubli. So this is the time value. So what they choose is they located all their head office in Bangalore. So the time value, okay, on any person is very important. So travel time value of the passenger. So cost dependent on type of the vehicle and its condition. Operation cost of the larger vehicles are comparatively higher, right? Then the operation cost of the old vehicles maintained in the poor condition is also higher. And the accident cost. Okay, there are different types of the accidents, right? So like first one is side swipe, rear end collision, okay, head on collision, like this, and the vehicle coming and hitting a stationary object or a wall, right, or an electric pole or a tree, like that. So the amount of the accident cost, it depends on the fatalities, injury, right? Then amount of the damage done to the damage happened to the vehicle or to any other private property, like this. So accident cost and the insurance after the fatalities all come under the accident cost. So the bad road, the number of the accidents are more and the accident cost is more, like that. So motor vehicle operation cost can be calculated by T is equal to A plus into bracket B plus C divided by speed. So A is the running cost per unit distance. It is independent of the journey. Okay. Then B is the fixed hourly cost. It depends on the speed of the vehicles. And C is the portion of the running cost which is dependent on the speed, pavement surface, its condition, grade, curves, traffic volume, etc. And also the time cost and accident cost are to be taken into consideration in the C value itself. Okay. So you can find out the motor vehicle operation cost by this formula. And next comes the highway cost. So the total highway cost of a road user benefit analysis is the sum of the capital cost expressed on the annual basis and the annual cost of the maintenance. Maintenance cost again plays a very important role in case of the highways. The total cost of the highway improvement is obtained from the estimate prepared from the preliminary plans. The cost of each highway engineering improvement proposal is calculated from the following components. Okay. In case of rural road, the right of way is of 12 meters. In case of the national highways, the right of way may go up to 50 meters. So right of way is one of the components. Good drainage and minor structures. If the heavy amount of the rainfall is been occurring in the area, you have to provide the good drainage conditions for the road. So drainage on both the sides of the road is very necessary. In those cases, good drainage plays a grading drainage plays a very important role. And minor structures called such as culverts, right, parapet walls, guardrails, all come under the minor structure. Major structures like bridges, pavement and the apprentices, then annual cost of the maintenance and the operation all come under the highway cost. Then computation of the total highway cost is based on the summation of the annual cost of the individual item of the improvement and their average useful lives is considered to be proper and accurate approach. Okay. So for every item there is a life, right? So based on the durability of the material, the cost will be changing. It is difficult to estimate the service lives of the highway elements as there are several variables such as soil, climate, topography, traffic, right? So climate, in case like recently Amphan cyclone took place, in this case there is the loss of the property, there is loss of a road, there is the loss of lives and all, right? So these are unexpected things which are occurring, like and the road life studies enable the estimation of the lives of the pavements, bridges and other roadway facilities. So highway costs include administration, right, personal service, building, equipment operation, office and insurance, right. For example, there is a toll nearby Belgaum in Hirebagewadi, right. So in that toll, okay, there is a toll collection structure, okay, then they have counters and there is office nearby of Ashoka Buildcon, right, company. So in that there is an administration, okay, where the person services are being given, building is there, some required important equipments are there nearby, tipper is there, ambulance is there, right. highway patrol vehicles are there. You have to spend on those also. The highway operation equipment, building vehicle operation including the capital cost of the vehicle, right? So you need rollers, you need mixers, right? Transit mixers, you need hot mix plant, you need ready mix plant, okay? So all this come under the highway operation equipment. And highway maintenance should be done periodically. In rainy season, all the if, there is continuous rain, because of that the plants and the shrubs in the median will grow lavishly, right? You have to cut those and maintain, okay, in the median and on the sides of the road, right? So these all come under the maintenance. In case of the heavy rainfall area and all, some amount of the road may be worn out, you have to repatch them. Overlay should be done in few of the stretches where the damages are being seen. So it comes under the highway maintenance. And highway capital cost. So cost of the highway components such as right of way, damage, earthwork, drainage system, payment bridges, traffic services, depreciation cost, and interest on the investment all come under the highway capital cost. Then probable life and the salvage value at the end of this period. So when you construct an bituminous road, the life of the bituminous road is for 15 years. Okay, if it is constructed with a very good construction practices, right? And salvage value. So salvage value is the value at the end of the life of a material or an object. Okay, some amount of the value should be subtracted from the total cost of an particular asset. Okay, so that comes under the depreciation cost. It is called as salvage value. So highway cost is been calculated by CA is equal to H plus T plus M plus CR. Okay, so this is an average annual highway cost. Okay, so where CA is average annual cost of the ownership and the operation. H is the average cost of the administration. What were the points which we considered just now are being summarized and summed up to calculate the annual average highway cost. Okay, and T is average annual highway operation cost. M is annual average highway maintenance cost, and CR is average annual capital cost of a depreciation of the investment capital or the capital recovery with the return of the capital. Okay. So there are different methods of the analysis to calculate this average maintenance cost and all. Okay, we'll see this. So procedure for the economic evaluation of highway projects consists of the qualification for cost component and other benefits arising out of the project, and to evaluate by one of the methods of the analysis. There are several methods such as annual cost method, rate of return method, then benefit cost method. Okay, so there are different methods. Still many more methods are there in case of the economics. Okay, so these are the very like a popular method to calculate the to do the cost. So annual cost of each element of a capital improvement is found by multiplying the appropriate capital recovery factor value calculated. So here CR may be found using that P is equal to, and write the formula on the board. Just take that. Okay, so the total annual cost of improvement is the sum of all the capital cost of the capital recovery plus annual maintenance and the road user. So take down the formula, okay, and CR means receipt in a uniform series for n periods to cover the cost, and P at the rate of the interest, okay, and P is initial cost of the improvement of any element of a highway, and is the rate, I is the rate of the interest for specified period, maybe in the case of half yearly, yearly, like that, and N is the period of the time in number of the interest periods. And at the end of the service life of the road, okay, some of the items could be assigned as a salvage value, okay. For example, like road is completely worn out, so the amount of the road, the amount of the amount spent on the construction of the road can be directly deleted as a salvage value, right. So the average annual capital cost CR for any project considering the salvage value is given by, you have to just, okay, so here in this case CR is equal to C minus the salvage value, okay, into I 1 plus I whole raised to n divided by 1 plus I whole raised to n minus 1 plus I into salvage value. So C is the total cost of the construction, Vs is the salvage value at the end of n years, I is the rate of interest applicable, and n is the number of the years expected use of the facility, okay. So n is like a design period, right, and the compound amount accumulated is the sum, and S on the principal sum of the proposed improvement cost or single payment, and P is including the rate of the interest 1 in n years can be given by S is equal to P into 1 plus I whole raised to n, okay. Solve a problem on this. Okay, I dictate the problem, you just take it out. Calculate the annual cost of stretch of highway from the following particulars, okay. So make 4 columns and 6 rows, 4 columns and 6 rows, okay. First column is of item, second column is total cost in rupees, okay, so it's in lakhs, okay, and estimated, next third column is estimated life in years, and the last column is rate of interest, okay. So in item, the first item is land, okay, second item is earthwork, third item is bridges, culverts and drainage, and fourth item is pavement, and fifth one is traffic signs and the road apprentices, okay. Take down in the second column total cost of rupees in lakhs, okay. For land it is 35, earthwork 40, bridge 50, pavement 100 lakhs, traffic and road apprentices 15 lakhs, okay. Estimated life, okay, for road, for land 100 years, for earthwork 40 years, for bridges, culverts and drainage 60 years, pavement 15 years, traffic signs and road apprentices 5 years, okay. Then last column, rate of interest, For land 6, earthwork 8%, okay. Bridges, culverts and drainage 8%, pavement 10%, traffic signs and road apprentices 10%. Okay. The average cost of maintenance of a road is rupees 1.5 lakhs per year. Take this one. Average cost of the maintenance of the road is 1.5 lakhs per year. So I'll do the calculation of 1, okay, and like that you have to do the calculation for land, earthwork, bridge, pavement and traffic signs and add them together with the maintenance cost. Okay, so what should be done is, I will do the calculation of annual cost of a land. Okay, similarly you have to calculate for earthwork, bridges, pavement and traffic signs and all them and add all them together with the maintenance cost of the road. So annual cost of land. Okay, so we are substituting in this formula itself. Here in this case P is given as 35, okay, and estimated life is here N is equal to 100 years and rate of interest I is 6%. Okay, so what is substitution here is 35, so I is 6, 1 plus, so 6% means 6 divided by 100, so it is 0.06 and N is 100 divided by 1 plus 0.06 whole raised to 100 minus 1. So the total cost is up to rupees 2.1063 lakhs. Right. So this is the annual cost of the land. So like that the value of P changes, N changes and I changes. You have to calculate for annual cost of earth, annual cost of the bridges, annual cost of the pavement, okay, and annual cost of the traffic signs. Finally add it with the maintenance cost. So that will be the total annual highway cost. So next one is a rate of the return method. So there are number of the variations for the determination of rate of the return of a highway improvement, and the rate of the return method, interest rate at which two alternative solutions have equal cost is been found. Okay, and if the rate of the return for all the projects are known, the priority of the improvement could be established. Okay. So here a rate of the return method means, in this case the lending agencies for the highway will be the interest charged by the each company or the funding agency, that will also be different. If many companies have come up funding which are providing funding, the rate of based on their company priority, like fame or amount of the profit earned by the company, it will be different, right? So based on that the rate of the return method is been depending. So here it can be found out by R is equal to O plus A minus M divided by P, where O is the savings in the annual road user cost and A is annual savings in the external cost and M is the additional maintenance cost per annum and P is the capital cost of the improvement. And next one is the benefit cost ratio method. Benefit cost ratio method. So principle of this method is to assess the merit of a particular scheme by comparing the annual benefit with the increase in the annual cost. So today the rate of the onion is 30 rupees. Okay, after this coronavirus, in rainy season, in another it may go 60 rupees, 100 rupees, right? So there are seasonal variations in at least the rate of the cost of the onion. So it is very simple thing, a very simple example which I am giving you. So like that will be increasing for every material, right? So like annual cost increase in every material will be calculated and the cumulative goes into the annual benefit, like that. So then the benefit cost ratio for various increments of added investment are computed to arrive at the best proposal. In order to justify the proposed improvement, the ratio should be greater than 1. However, the choice of the interest rate would affect the results of the benefit cost solutions. So benefit cost ratio is equal to annual benefit from the improvement divided by annual cost of the improvement. So where R minus R1 all divided by H1 minus H2. Right. So R is the total annual road user cost of an existing highway and R1 is the total annual road user cost for the proposed highway. Okay. And H is the total annual cost of existing road and H1 is the total annual cost of the proposed highway improvement. So next we'll deal with the highway finance. Okay. So basic principle of highway financing is that the funds spent on the highways are recovered from the road users. So whatever we pay in the form of the toll, okay, in the highways, this is one of direct collection of the amount spent on the roads. So the recovery may be direct or indirect. As I mentioned in the previous slides, it may be direct or indirect. So two general methods of highway financing are pay-as-you-go method and credit financing method. So pay-as-you-go method and one more is the credit financing method. In pay-as-you-go method, the payment for the highway improvement, maintenance and operation is made by the central revenue. In the credit financing method, the payment for highway improvement is made from the borrowed money and this amount and the interest are repaid for the future income. Okay, so the credit financing method, whatever the payment is been taken for the highway improvement, which is a borrowed money from any of the funding agency, and this amount will be kept in the form of taken in the form of the interest, and it will be like repaid in the future income. And distributing the highway cost among the government, road user and other has been disputed task in the several countries. It is one of the most disputed topics. Many economists are of a view that the financial responsibility for roads should be assigned only among the beneficiaries. Who are the beneficiaries here in case of the highways or the roads? One is the contractor who is constructing, one is the funding agency, and the third one is the road user itself. Right? On the basis of the benefit each one receives. Who receives the maximum benefit after construction, or like the road user or the contractor or the funding agency? We have to decide, right? So there are several theories suggesting the method of the distribution of highway taxes between the passenger cars and other commercial vehicles like the trucks. There are several theories which are being adopted in several countries, and in our country also one theory based on the theory of one economist. Here also we have adopted some of the taxation methods. So based on the size of the vehicle, okay, and the amount spent in buying the vehicle, we are paying the highway taxes. So, however, in India, the annual revenue from the transport has been much higher than the expenditure on the road development and the maintenance. The number of the vehicles which are moving on the road are very high. So the amount of the tax collected by these vehicles is also very high, but the amount spent on the construction of the road and the maintenance is less. Therefore, there is no problem of distributing highway costs among the other agencies in our country. Also, the taxation on the vehicles is being considered separately by the states. Every state is having its own taxation method. Okay. So the cars which are being imported from the foreign countries, so in Karnataka we pay heavy taxes for those, but in different states the different taxes or the amount of the vehicle tax is less. Comparatively in Pondicherry, in Maharashtra it is less, but in Karnataka it is high. It is left to the independent states to decide their taxation values. And there seems to be no theory followed in the distribution of the taxes between the various classes of the vehicles. Based on amount of the revenue collected in a particular state, right, it is been decided. So what are the sources of the revenues? Okay, so as I said, it depends on the revenue collected in a state, and these are the sources of the revenues. So taxes on the motor fuel and the lubricants, duties and the taxes on the new vehicles and the spare part including tires, then vehicle registration taxes, special taxes on the commercial vehicles, other road user taxes, property taxes, toll taxes, and other funds set apart for the highways. So next one. It has been done with the by the central government, state government, local bodies including the corporations, municipalities, district boards and the panchayats. For highway financing are duties, arid taxes on the motor fuel, that is central road fund, excise duty on the vehicles, spare parts and tires, excise duty on the oil, grease, etc. Okay, taxes levied on the state government like registration fees. As I said, registration fee in case of Karnataka, Pondicherry, Maharashtra, it is completely different. Right? So registration fee for the vehicles and the road tax permits for the transport vehicles. So the cars which are roaming in our cities such as BMW, Mercedes and all are with a white board, okay, and with a registration PY, not KA. It is in the form of PY because Pondicherry, as it is one of the union territories, there the registration fee is less. So people get registered their vehicles in Pondicherry and get them. Okay. So passenger taxes on the buses, sales tax on the vehicle parts and the tires, and fees on the driving licenses. So taxes levied by the local bodies are mainly the toll taxes. So highway financing is done in the form of the build, operate, transfer, BOOT model, build, own, operate, transfer, BOOT models, and finance, build and lease approach. There are many models which have come up in our country. Okay, build, operate, transfer, build, own and operate, build, own, operate and sell, BOOS, build, operate, lease and transfer, BOLT, build, own, operate and transfer, BOOT, like this. Okay, these all come under the public-private partnership policy. These all come under public-private partnership policy. Right? We'll see this public-private partnership. So it means an arrangement between the government, statutory entity, then government-owned entity on one side and a private sector entity on the other for the provision of the public assets, public services through investments being made and management being done, which are being undertaken by the private sector or the government sector, and the specified period of the time with which the asset is been under the private or the public sector. Okay, and it is particularly well defined previously before the allocation of the risk. So like this, the private partnership policy is being the rules are being made up by the government. So under these, the BOOT, BOOS, BOOT, BOLT all come under the public-private partnership policies. So we'll
So, good morning, everyone. We are going to go for the fifth unit of water supply engineering, that is Unit 5, which consists of disinfection and distribution systems. So here, before going for the particular this chapter, we are going to see that we are going to go back what all we have studied, since this is the last unit of this particular water supply engineering. So in case of Unit 1, we have seen that introduction to sources, wherein we have listed the surface and subsurface sources, stability with regard to quality, quantity of water, and various beneficial and quality requirements needed for the protect of water supply. Okay. So next is we are going to see in Unit 1 the quality of water, wherein we have seen the different quality management and BIS drinking water standards. So for the next part in Unit 2, we have seen the demand of water, that is the requirement of water, that is potable water per day. So this we have seen, and we have studied regarding the intake structures also. So after coming for this, the third unit is water treatment. So normally this particular water treatment is studied in two steps, that is sedimentation and filtration. So after filtration, we are going to see in case of Unit 4 the softening. So normally the water which is going to be coming out from the filtration tanks will not be free from what? The bacteria. So after the softening of water, that is the hardened water is going to be softened using the different methods, wherein you have seen the lime soda process, zeolite process, then RO, then filtration and nanofiltration processes. So after doing all this process, the last process of treatment of water is the disinfection. So coming directly for this particular unit, that is disinfection of water. First of all, let us know what is disinfection. So whenever the water from the treatment plant, that is the filtered water, comes out from the filtration process will be having certain bacteria. It will not be free completely from the bacteria. That is why these bacteria must be killed in order to make water safe for drinking. This process is known as disinfection. So the chemicals normally which are going to be used for killing this particular bacteria are known as disinfectants. The disinfection not only removes the bacteria but also ensures killing of distribution system. So normally from our olden days, that is normally what we have seen our ancestors use